France v England referee Angus Gardner was removed from match after French got screwed. England could clinch an unlikely Six Nations title as they take on France in Lyon on Super Saturday. Steve Borthwick's side underwhelmed at the start of the tournament, but after beating Italy, Wales and claiming a surprise victory over Grand Slam favourites Ireland, they have given themselves a fighting chance at stealing the championship crown from Andy Farrell's men. To do so, they would need to score at least 4 tries to beat France, and hope Ireland lose to Scotland without gaining a bonus point. You can read more about that here. Saturday's hosts also have a mathematical chance, albeit a slim one, of seizing the title. Despite being thumped by Ireland and being held to a draw by Italy, France could technically still be crowned champions if they record a big bonus point victory over England and hope Scotland beat Ireland with no bonus points handed out. Sign up, get the new exclusive Inside Welsh Rugby newsletter for full insight into what's really going on around all the big issues. This special offer will get you full access for the entire year for just £10 instead of £40, with so much on the line. Le Crunch is sure to be as lively as ever, and trying to keep a lid on proceedings out in France today is Australian referee Angus Gardner. Here's everything you need to know about today's referee. Who is Angus Gardner? Born in Sydney in 1984, Gardner was a keen rugby player as a teenager, but he was forced to give it up when he was diagnosed with a hereditary disc condition called Spearman's disease. The doctor was like, "Mate, you need to take up fishing," and that was devastating to hear, Gardner told the Sydney Morning Herald. One of the teachers suggested refereeing as a way of staying involved, and I went from there. He took up refereeing in 1999 aged 15, but only became a full-time ref 8 years ago. He had been appointed to his first test match 4 years prior, as he took charge of an Oceania Cup match between Papua New Guinea and Vanuatuan, while he made his Super Rugby debut the following year as he officiated Queensland Reds v Melbourne Rebels at Suncorp Stadium. Gardner was appointed to the IRB Junior World Championship in 2012 and 2014, and took charge of the semi-final between England and Ireland in 2014. He refereed at his first Rugby World Cup in 2015 and took charge of the Super Rugby final in 2018, the same year he was awarded the prestigious prize of World Rugby Referee of the Year. He also refereed at last year's Rugby World Cup, taking charge of the Argentina v New Zealand semi-final at the Stade de France. France screwed. Gardner has refereed both sides before, but found himself in France's bad books during the 2019 Rugby World Cup in Japan. Les Blues battled to a narrow 23-21 win over Argentina in their Pool C opener in Tokyo, with a Camille Lopez drop goal 10 minutes from time making the difference. However, they were pushed close, and after the game, the French captain complained that Gardner had failed to properly sanction their opponents. Skipper Guillaume Garraud complained that while his side had followed new rules outlawing early engagement in the scrum, the Pumas had ignored them and got away with it, with the Australian referee failing to act on it. "We worked for weeks not to engage early," hooker Garraud was quoted as saying by L'Equipe at the time. "And on the first 3 scrums they put pressure on us and the referee didn't say much." His front row partner, prop Jefferson Poirot, gave a far more blunt assessment, saying simply, "We got screwed." The under-fire Gardner was due to be an assistant referee in the Pumas' clash with England later in the tournament, but was removed ahead of the game. Rugby Pass reported that the official had come in for internal criticism for his performance in the France match, with Ben O'Keefe replacing him for Argentina v England. Early hours phone call from Rassie. Gardner has copped his fair share of flack during the course of his refereeing career, but Springboks director of rugby Rassie Erasmus took things to an unacceptable level after the 2018 Rugby Championship. After both of the bot games that Gardner refereed during the tournament, Erasmus sent him emails, ignoring the protocols of asking for clarification on match incidents through official World Rugby channels. Indeed, after one defeat, an unhappy Erasmus reportedly made an early hours phone call to Gardner, according to the Times. The Springboks boss was reprimanded by World Rugby for his behavior towards Gardner, some 3 years before his now infamous attack on Nick Berry during the Lions tour saw him banned. Live radio apology. Gardner was a touch judge for the first Bledisloe Cup test between his native Australia and New Zealand back in 2020, but ended up angering his fellow countrymen as he made an error that ended up costing the Wallabies the win. Jordie Barrett gave the All Blacks the perfect start as he crossed for a try early in the first half, but Gardner missed the fact that his teammate Reiko Lyon had actually stepped into touch in the build-up. Replays showed Lyon's foot clearly in touch, but it was not noticed by the lying judge as the score stood, with Australia fighting back as the game finished 16-16. Fans were left fuming by the unacceptable error, which they claimed cost the Wallabies a win, and Gardner admitted he had got it wrong after the game, telling Aussie radio station Gold AM that it was a genuine miss. "Sometimes it happens at that speed. Obviously I put my hand up for it," he said, adding, "We're there to referee the game whether it's the All Blacks or the Wallabies or Wellington or Otago or Chiefs versus Crusaders. Our job's just the game, it shouldn't matter who the two teams are." Read next. Ireland v Scotland referee Matthew Carley was accused of ruining tournament by TV star. Six Nations rule could deny England title even if they win the most games. Joe Joyce v Cash Ali fight start time, TV channel, and full undercard. Man who threw away Bitcoin fortune nudging £1.5 billion by mistake launches legal fight to search tip. Wales v Italy referee Matthew Reynolds told wrong player to leave field and met with Gatland.